Hey guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. So in this video, I am going to be discussing a really sad topic that, happened in real life and was shared on the news amongst many channel news stations and everything like that. So it is a really sensitive topic. It is concerning, a child. As we know, anything that's concerning a child is just really kind of just sad to talk about, especially if it's in a sense of a negative, term or connotation. So that's what we're going to be discussing about. And that topic will be, about the death of Gabriel Fernandez. The circumstances that child had to go through and everything. It's really gut-wrenching. No human being should have to go through that. Talk more of a child. That was really a hard pill to swallow when I watched the documentary on Netflix. So I wanted to bring that out to you guys and just kind of share that with you. You guys, anything that's dealing with like a child, I mean, it's not right, guys. It's just so evil. Like if you're just having a bad day or if something is really triggering you, avoid, trying to deflect that onto someone else or transfer that aggression. It can really lead into something that's just not even worth it or necessary, or good, and so that's what happened in this case. So guys, that's what happened in this case with the Gabriel Fernandez situation. I believe he was an 8 years old boy. He was kind of like raised by, his dad, but his biological dad was incarcerated, unfortunately. Then he had his mom was there, of course. Then, she had her boyfriend, her stepdad, just kind of helping in and, I guess helping to raise this child that they supposedly love. So I believe the mom's name was Pearl. She did have 3 children, Gabriel being one of them, of course. And from what I understand, those other 2 children's, Gabriel's, siblings, they weren't disciplined. They just never were wrong in their parents' eyes, and they never got the wrath of anything the parents had to say to them. But in other words, it seems as though Gabriel was more so the one to be picked on, and all the aggression would go to Gabriel for who knows what reason for, but he did have other siblings as well that just the parents didn't want to discipline. So it's really just hard to even kind of like grasp that. And just as we go into more details about the situation and the circumstances, it just gets worse, like, guys, it's a really hard topic to discuss, being that this is a minor, someone that's not even able to defend himself. And it looks like in this case, with Gabriel, he was just the one they wanted to pick. And every day he came back from school, his stepdad would always like just kind of like beat him and throw him around and stuff him in the closet and kind of torture him and give him no food. So it was terrible. There are some really graphic pictures out there that I don't want to show it here because it's an emotional thing, and anything that has to do with children gets me really worked up and like scared. So I can't show any graphic pictures, guys, but it was a really terrible situation. He was physically abused, mentally abused by his mom and stepdad, mainly by his stepdad. His stepdad did most of the physical abusing and punching around and starving him, while his mom was more so like the person that just kind of yayed in the back and said, yes, he does deserve that. He's not like the other children. And it's devastating, to see like your own biological parent kind of just hating on you. And, like this is the person that brought me into the world, and here they are, making me go through a life in hell. So it's something really hard to grasp, but it is a true story, guys. It did originate out of Palmdale, California, and around about 2010 was when he was unfortunately murdered by his stepdad. So basically, guys, it was a really hard pill to swallow and just kind of take down. They would starve him, they would put him in the closet. And I'm really glad that Netflix came out with that kind of documentary to really just show how child abuse happens. And, CPS was called to the residence I think sometimes they even had an open investigation, but no one, everyone there failed to remove Gabriel from the situation. And, had they done that, he would have still been alive today. Sad enough. So it's just, it's terrible when your parents fail you and they can't really take care of you. But when the actual system, like the state of California fails you as a child, that's just so hard. So I believe, the judge actually had to go ahead and serve everyone, every caseworker there, every investigator that was on that case in terms of Gabriel Fernandez, and they had to be also looked into and put up for possible, trial and things like that. So it was a really touching, story. And I think the judge made a good decision in terms of really investigating and looking into everyone that did the casework, because, just something like that, you don't leave a child there to kind of like perish, and, the situations are terrible, and regardless of the little counseling I think the mom had, she still couldn't just leave it alone. She still had to kind of like pick on Gabriel, really make him feel like he's just not part of the rest of, his siblings, and, like he's an alien or something. So I think that final straw, happened when I think it was just one day Gabriel came back from school. He wanted to play with his sister because his sister was playing with toys. And his sister had to tell him, well, you're not supposed to play with me. The parents don't want that to happen. So his parents just started calling him like, Gabriel, get over here. And the dad would say, get over here. And got to the point the dad had literally dragged him up, took him to the room, and, slammed his body into the wall, physically abused him. And he called 911 after he figured out, I did kill my stepchild. So it was terrible, guys. Oh my God, it's really even hard to talk about. But the fact that, a parent, an adult, someone, of age that should know what's right and wrong and what you shouldn't do, it's always good to pick a fight with someone that's your mate, that you can actually fight off, right? So, I mean, a 30-year-old man, putting all his anger on an 8-year-old child, there's a great disparity there. That's not typical, and that's not right, So I that's what really, really just scares me in terms of that. Like, no one knows whatever goes on in people's homes, and it sucks that, the mom didn't intervene, didn't say stop, well, hey, this is my child. You just kind of, sat there and looked at it happen, and it's terrible. But that is just the everyday life we go through, I do kind of also blame CPS for leaving him in that situation and just thinking a little chit chat with the mom was gonna, alleviate everything. Like, no, and if had they done that, he would have still been alive. And, it's just an unfortunate situation, guys. So I just wanted to share that with you guys. Children should never be used as a pawn, or, I know a lot of times as we're vulnerable children, and things like that, it's so easy to just put the blame on, someone that doesn't know anything or hasn't fully developed as an adult. But the thing here is that if you're the adult, you should know that that's not right. You should know that there's different ways to go about your handling your emotions, your anger, versus choosing an 8-year-old that, it only has 8 years of life into the world, So it's kind of like picking your battles and knowing what's what. So that was a tragic story. And, greatly, the satisfaction there is that unfortunately Gabriel did pass away, and, once they did call 911. But the awesome part here is that, both of the parents are in jail, and that's where they're going to be for life. So it's just, it's terrible that someone can be that demented and deluded to do that to an 8-year-old child. Like, it's, you don't want to do that. And I think it's terrible, that he had to suffer through that. And I think also when it was, I guess, his last day in school before they did give him the beating and everything before he went home, he had a school project to make for his mom. And, the teacher wanted all the, children, because I think it was like Mother's Day, to just say one thing they love so much about their mom. And, Gabriel actually had something sweet to say. He said, well, I'll always love my mom. you know, he made the little picture in that, and unfortunately, that was the day he did pass away when he went home. So, guys, it's just really, really important, you know, if you are a victim of child abuse, if, you know, you're a child and you don't like what's going on, really voice that out. And yeah, because it's, no one should ever have to go through that. You know, life is short, and putting a blame on an 8-year-old child that doesn't know anything, it's senseless and ironic to me, and stupid. You know, every adult that is of age, if you're 18 years and older, you should know how to control yourself. You know, you should know right and wrong, right? So it's sad, and I would just wish his family the best, and I hope his soul rests in peace. And yeah, it's so important. But I do want to share that with you guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. Leave a comment down below on what you think on this situation, and you know, let's just all try to be children of God and listen to the word of the God and stray away from evil, because it's terrible. No human being should ever be tortured like that and starved and, you know, beaten, you know, or, you know, it's not a fair situation. But leave a comment down below, guys. I just thought I would share this story with you guys, and let me know what you think down below.